Hello, lovelies, and welcome back to Divinely Demi, where we do oracle card readings for the collective. Sometimes they are for each sign, or sometimes it's just everybody in there. My name is Demi, and my readings are focused on inner growth and expansion. And I basically ask different questions about what we may need to know or what's in the energy right now. So if this is your first time here, hi, welcome. And if you're back again, thank you so much for coming back and letting me read for you to see if there is a message that resonates with you. So with that being said, if there's something that resonates for you, take it. I love that. And if there's something that doesn't resonate for you, leave it. I love that too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I hope everybody is feeling okay. And if you're not feeling okay, then knowing that that is also okay. We are gonna do fire signs today. Last time we did air signs. And so we're gonna see what messages there are for the collective fire signs. So my Aries. Wait, not I just forgot the fire signs. Okay, wait. For Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Right? Y'all forgive me. I really do know this. It's just when, when I was on the spot. Anyways, okay. This top one actually is what Spirit is saying. Connection. I love that. This card is so beautiful. Storytelling, connection. Wow. Yeah. So somebody who is a fire sign, or somebody who's a fire sign is in your big 3 or big 6 or whatever. It's time to tell your story. It's time to tell your story. When we tell our stories, that is how we connect, right? Like, we can sit here and say generic things all day, like love yourself. Okay, that's a big one. I used to get so annoyed when people be like, love yourself. Okay, but I mean, why, right? What does that mean? Like for me, I could be like, oh, love yourself, but like the story is that for a really long time, I really thought I had all these negative beliefs about myself, and I would from oh, I'm not capable of reading cards, right? Or I'm not capable of having my own business, or nobody likes me, or nobody, like all these different things, but they were really just coming from a lack of belief in who I was, and really being afraid of my own stories, right? Like being afraid of not just the negative stories that I told myself, but my actual path. And like I said, storytelling is how we connect. When we tell each other our stories, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, that is how we know, like, not only, okay, we're not alone, but other people aren't alone. And even deeper than that, not deeper, but even also, not that we're just not alone, but that there's nothing that we experience that's just completely different from anybody else. Like, I know we like to sit here and be like, oh, nobody knows what I've gone through. And of course, nobody knows what you've gone through, because it's your journey. It's your path, right? Like, nobody's going to exactly know what I have gone through from, I don't even know where to start, but all the things that I've experienced in my life that have shaped me, from heartbreak, from devastation, to health issues, to mental health issues, all the things, right? So anyways, let's pull another card. Oh, okay, I'm hearing split the deck in half. Clan. Wow. Okay. So this is what came out. Clan. Okay. Claiming. Okay, so let's put you here. Actually, I think I'm gonna stick them right here. Can y'all see them? Yeah, y'all can see them. All right. So storytelling and claiming, right? You gotta claim your story. You gotta claim your story, because claiming your story is also what connects you with your clan, right? This story connection. See this beautiful grandmother or elder who is telling the stories to these younger kids, right? Their connection, it's family. There may be, some of you are feeling disconnected from people. Feeling really disconnected, maybe even isolated, maybe even lonely. I know I have, especially during this season. You know, I'm in a season, I'm single right now, right? I've spent pretty much this whole year not dating at all. Partly by choice, partly just, that's just what has happened. I've been trying to foster connection with community and seeing what that feels like, you know what I'm saying? But in order for me to do that, I have had to be vulnerable, right? I have had to be willing to say some things about myself. And like, I'm somebody who is really private, you know? That's partly how I am naturally, but also some of that is a way of protecting myself, closing myself off. But I do not feel super connected to other people or even truly connected with myself when I'm closed off, right? So yeah, you know, so like I said, some of us are feeling really disconnected, really lonely. And so Spirit, what do we need to look at? What do we need to look at a little further when it comes to telling our stories and connecting with other people? What do we need to look at? What do we need to look at? What do we listen? Look at this creation story. Creation story. So this card is about remembering that your path is your own. What does that mean? It means that comparing yourself to other people, right? So sometimes when we are unable to connect with ourselves or others, that can have to do with comparing ourselves, comparing our stories, thinking that our story is better or worse than other people's, right? Thinking that our path has to look like other people's even, or feeling a type of way if it doesn't. You know, your story is literally your unique story. There will not be any other story like yours. And that's by design. That's by design. Look at, like, y'all, look at this. I'm saying, like, look at this, right? Storytelling, connection, clan, right? Just the like of being with other people, of knowing who your people are, creation story. The pathway that you have is yours and yours alone. During this season, I really start to get clear. I feel like what's being called is to get clear about, who am I? What's my story? Right? What are the unique things that you bring to the table? And I'm going to give you a hint, spoiler alert. The unique things that you bring to the table is just literally your story, right? Like for me, I am a Black woman, you know, who is grown up in America. I am someone who grew up an only child. You know, I am someone who is really creative. I grew up music, like singing and playing piano, and creativity was always important to me. I was always on the quieter side, but not because I necessarily was shy, but because I was in my head a lot, like whether it be daydreaming or whether it be sometimes I was just in my own world, right? But sometimes I was feeling closed off. I was also really sensitive. I was also gifted, right? Spiritually. So I just also didn't want to be around a lot of people. And I've dealt with a lot of mental health issues. I have, you know, I've went to school, I've gotten degrees. I have been able to overcome a lot of barriers. And even still, I can feel like I can be really hard on myself too, right? etc., 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 right? Like, we all have elements of our story that shapes us and makes us who we are. And that's okay, right? Like, what part of your story do you want to share? What parts of your story do you not want to share? What parts of your story do you feel ashamed of? What parts of your story are you insecure about? What parts of your story do you feel like made you, quote unquote, worse, right? Asking these questions and giving ourselves really honest answers, or even sometimes just asking the question and figuring out what the question is. Some of us feel really isolated and alone, not just because, oh, other people don't want to be around us. It's not about other people, right? It never really is. But because we haven't identified with, haven't honored our own story. Whether you choose to tell it or who you choose to tell it to is your business, right? I do, for me, I'm in this season of really starting to become more open with different parts of my story. And I mean, I still haven't, gotten 100% clear about what parts of my story I want to tell, what parts I don't. Because I think discernment is also important. But if I'm not even connected to my own story at all, how can I feel connected to anything? But yeah, so spirit is saying, like, no one, like, wow, okay. So how earlier I was saying, like, everybody's story is unique. Spirit is saying, like, it is, but it also is not. Like all of us as humans, right, crave connection. We crave love. We want to be understood. Or at least a lot of the humans I've met. I don't know who y'all met, but yeah, we all have similar things that we crave or need, even when our stories are completely different, right? And so it's like trusting your story, trusting your path, trust that the people that need to be around you will be around you, and you'll feel that intuitively. Things will just sort of start to come around. But let's see what else we have here. Okay. So connection, client storytelling. All right. Spirit, what else do you want us to know? What else do you want these fire signs to know? Actually, the question that I'm hearing is not what else do we need to know, but what's getting in the way? What's getting in the way of us, this one. So the question is, what's getting in the way of us being able to really claim our story, or of really, knowing that our path is our unique path, and it has similarities too. What's getting in the way? I'm feeling this one. Stillness. Ha! Some of us have been avoiding being still. We've been avoiding being still. Guys, stillness is required for connection. And like, I used to feel like, oh, no, I need to be around people, right? That's connection. But you can't really fully connect with other people and be around people and still have a sense of who you are unless you are still. Unless you are still. Yeah? And our stillness and our quietness is actually where we can hear our inner selves the loudest. I'm convinced of that. This year for me has been a lot of solitude. And in that solitude, I have discovered things that I like and don't like. I have discovered all the thoughts that constantly run in my head, right? I have been able to see like the role I played in all the different stories that I have of myself or of other people. And the stillness is where my gifts, where my intuition comes through, Let's read from the book on this skull cap. So yeah, Spirit is saying to come back. Oops. to come into stillness. Let's see. Herbs of Pluto. Okay. Stillness after the storm. Let go of control. Trust in life. Surrender to the divine plan. Break open. So this first part is talking about some skull cap and what it's used for. Hypertension, insomnia, inflammation. Am I smacking all in the... I just hear myself smacking. Sorry. Anyway. Okay, let me stop. Okay. Yeah, so skull cap has been used in Cherokee and other North American tribal people. It can treat breast pain. Breast pain? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, like, like before you get your period or something? I'm like, wait, what you mean breast pain? Like, okay, let's move on. Okay, so skull cap it can be used for a lot of different things, but I'm really feeling like we need to get into the message. Okay, the storm has passed. You've weathered or are weathering a storm. Ground deeply into the present moment. If you feel fear, find consolation in stillness as it readapts. The medicine of Scorpio embodies the stillness of darkness, and it assists by accepting sudden change with ease and calm. If you're feeling exhausted, drained, or depleted, this is the time to pause and withdraw to your cave. You're in the process of rebuilding after the storm. Don't rush, reflect. Take the time to birth a new structure that supports a new version of yourself. I love that. I love that. And how are we able to know what we need? How are we able to move on from the different storms that have been in our past, except for when we get still, you know? There's nothing that's apart from you. There's nothing that's apart from you. Your story is yours alone, and Spirit is encouraging you to get still and really sit with, you know, not only what story do I have, the things that have shaped me to be who I am, but what story do I want to create? Right? What story is it that you want to create for yourself now, moving forward? Who do you want to be in this present moment and continue to be? How do you want to show up for yourself? So some of you may have had a lot going on this year. You know, some of you may have been feeling depleted. Ancient memory. 3. Yeah, ancient memory. Wow. This is also and it came out in the reverse, but don't forget who you are, right? Like, don't forget who you are. Not just where you came from, and like I said, your story is really important, but also knowing where you're going and what you want. Oh, the herb is rosemary. Yeah. Knowing that your story matters. Your story matters. Yes, the past and what you, things that you triumphed through, and now your story is ever evolving. Right? Your story is ever evolving. So remember that as you go forward. Give yourself grace. Give yourself kindness. That's why I have this thing that says, live your life with love, grace, and gratitude. Yeah. Live your life with love, grace, and gratitude. Remember who you are. Remember I hear Spirit saying, remember your story. Be willing to share your story. And also know that Your story moving forward is yours alone, and you're unique. Like, don't compare it to anybody else. Because as you sit in stillness, you get clear on who you are and who you want to be, right? And remembering who you are. So that is it for today, fire signs. Actually, sorry, I just heard one more. We're going to do it from this deck. Oh, y'all can't see this deck. I heard one more. Hold on. One more. So we're just, oh, no, we're going to shuffle and do the third one from the top. Oh, nope. We're actually going to do third one from the top from here. So we have 1, 2, and then this is third. Humility. You guys, can I just say something? I was in the hair salon the other day, and this older gentleman came in and he said, GHP, it hit me on my way here. You gotta have gentleness, humility, and patience with yourself. That's what he said. So yeah, when I see this humility card, I feel that, Spirit is saying that through all of this, remember to be humble, and not humble like lowly and like not allowing yourself to step out in any spotlight, because baby, your story is your spotlight. Y'all see all this sun energy here and here, and the trees and all that, and we have a sun in this card too, right? Like, because your story really is, that's a part of who you are, right? Like, it's your essence. Not that it has to, not that the things that have gone on in your life make or break you either. But your story matters, and I think there's humility in being honest about our stories. Yeah. I know when I tell a piece of my story or whatever, because we all have the stories are the things that we've gone through in life, the things that we want to do in life. I think it takes a certain humility to be able to talk about it. I think it definitely requires that. And so Spirit is definitely saying, through all that, remember to be humble, with yourself. Okay. All right, my dears. Thank you so much. That is it. I hope that this was impactful in some way. And I hope that you guys are well and continue to be well. All right. And I will see you next time. Bye.